But I think the most important way is, I mean, this is just me, my personal advice, but I think any good way to go out with somebody or start dating someone is just to get to know them first, is to try and be friends with that person and make sure you enjoy their company. And then once you have realized that you're good friends and you can hang out with each other, then you can start taking it a bit more seriously. But yeah, there's lots of different ways. So yeah, work, church, bar, even at the park or at a sports game or anything you want, really. You just go up to someone and say hi and try and start a conversation.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this new episode of English with Mr. Otañez. Here we have another great interview with a friend that everybody knows and that is very popular here in my channel, Mr. Andrew Lloyd. Andrew, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Happy to have you here again.
Yeah, it's great to be back.
Yes, we love your insights. We love your the way you share your knowledge with us, and especially people. Something that people like about you is the way you speak. They say you speak very fast, and that's good. For them to improve their listening.
So I've heard, yeah. I've been struggling with that my whole life.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but that is good. It's good, especially for us learners, language learners, who want to improve our listening. Because we're accustomed to listening to people speaking not that fast, but
Mhm.
kind of, let's say, slow, especially when we're teaching, because when we teach, we try to slow our voice
Mhm.
to make a little slower so people can understand what we say. But
Yeah.
when students go to real life, then or when they listen to music or watch TV series, they say, okay, now this is not this is not like my English class. This is a little bit
Yeah.
faster.
It's difficult. Yeah, I remember when I first got to the Dominican Republic, I tried speaking to a few people and I thought I knew a little bit of Spanish. And then they talked back to me and just
Okay, yeah.
right over my head.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of frustrating at the beginning, but little by little, you get to get a hang of it and start understanding everything. And it is not that complicated, but it's kind of challenging. Still kind of challenging because you need
Yeah.
time. That ability of listening to that kind of accent and the way normal American people speak, it's something that you don't get overnight. You need a lot
Mm.
of let's say, input, and little by little, then you get accustomed to it. At the beginning, it wasn't easy for me either,
Yeah,
so but I got
for
used to
sure.
it. Okay,
Yeah.
so this time we're not talking about language learning, but we're talking about a topic that people like:
Mhm.
dating. People love
Yeah.
the topic. Yeah, especially my students, they love talking about dating.
Saliendo de las citas.
Yeah, las citas amorosas, dating. Yeah,
Ya tú
and
sabes.
sometimes, something that happened a lot in when I was teaching this year. I'm the coordinator of the program,
Mhm.
and people used to come to my office to ask for permission, and they say, "Coordinator, I need permission because I need to go on a date. I have a
Mm.
date." Say, a date? Do you have a date? Yes, I have a date with my doctor. You mean an
Mm.
appointment with a doctor, or do you have a romantic appointment with the doctor? No, no,
Yeah.
it's an appointment. Okay, appointment. That is the word. But this
Yeah.
time we're talking about dating. Yeah, we are really
Mhm.
talking about dating this time. So
Perfect.
Andrew is going to tell us a little bit about how is the culture in terms of the American culture in terms of dating. Okay, we're
Mhm.
not going to teach you how the art of seduction or something like that. You're not going to be better at dating, but at least you're going to get to know how Americans date. Okay, so
Perfect.
I have the first question for my dear Andrew, my dear friend Andrew. Andrew, first question for you: how
Yeah.
would you describe the dating culture in the United States?
Good question. So yeah, I think overall, in the United, it kind of depends on what part you're at, right? So I come from Boston, which is in the state called Massachusetts, and right now I'm living in a place called Utah. And in Boston versus Utah, it's a very different culture. So the interesting thing is it kind of depends where in the United States you are. So in bigger cities and bigger places like that, most people tend to date when they're in their 20s, right? People have, affairs in high school, which is, kind of like you talk to people and you get to know girls, but it doesn't really seem to get serious until you're about 24 or 25. Usually in the United States, when people are in college, they go out with a lot of girls, but their goal isn't to get married, it isn't to really establish a relationship. It's more just to have fun. And then kind of once you're past 25, then you kind of start really, you get a little bit older, you get a bit more mature, and you start actually dating to find a companion, right? But like I said, it depends on where you're at. In Utah, for example, where I live right now, people date very seriously when they're very young, when they're 20, 21, 22. And people, people in this part of the country want to get married very quickly. And a lot of it depends on religious beliefs, and a lot of it depends on, just your family values. So like I said, like in big cities, people are more, oh yeah, you can do whatever you want. It doesn't really matter so much. So that's why people tend to wait a little bit later before they start dating very seriously. Whereas kind of in this part of the country in Utah and in the West, people are much more focused on religious beliefs and different things like that. So they're very, very set on dating to marry and dating to have that lasting relationship. So yeah, it kind of depends on where you're at, but that's overall the idea.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, the same happened here in the Dominican Republic. At the beginning, young people start dating just to know each other, to get to know each other, but
Mhm.
they don't get that serious. But then when they get older, then they say, okay, I need to find a couple to get married. I mean, a person to get married with,
Mhm.
and things start to getting a little bit more serious.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is kind of similar here. So, and I have another question. According to your experience, what are some common ways people meet potential romantic partners in the U.S.?
Okay, good question. That one's fun. So I think with that one, there's a lot of ways really. I think unfortunately a very common one is to meet someone at a bar. So
The
like
bar,
if you're both at a
yeah.
if you're both pretty drunk and you're at a bar, it's really, that's what they call alcohol liquid courage. You can just go talk to anybody. But I think there's a lot of ways you can meet someone. Like here for example, like at school, it's really easy to talk to a pretty girl behind you in your class or a good looking guy. You can meet them at work, right? For example, if you work together and you start talking a little bit. Um, for example, me, I'm dating someone and I met her at church. She's in my same group at church, and so that's how we met. So there's really lots of different ways, but I think the most important way is, I mean, this is just me my personal advice, but I think any good way to go out with somebody or start dating someone is just to get to know them first, is to try and be friends with that person and make sure you enjoy their company, and then once you have realized that you're good friends and you can hang out with each other, then you can start taking it a bit more seriously. But yeah, there's lots of different ways. So yeah, work, church, bar, even at the park or at a sports game or anything you want, really. You just go up to someone and say hi and try and start a conversation.
Yeah, good. And at the university too.
Yeah, exactly. At
Yeah.
school, it's very easy. It's
So
really easy to meet people at
yeah, it
school.
is better because you can have a, let's say, a classmate that you have, you cannot be in contact with, and then you get to know each other better. But
Mhm.
yeah, it happens at church. It happens, at a bar. But yeah,
Yeah,
to be honest, that's not for me a good place to find a partner. But anyways, that
it's
happens.
not. It's
Yeah,
terrible. It's actually
it
very bad.
is. It is. Well, and let's talk about the moment. Let's say that you got a person, you found a person, and you kind of hit it off with that person. So, where do you usually go on a date with that person?
Yeah, that's a fun question. So my favorite things to do with people I go out with are I like to get food. I think
Good.
food is
Yeah.
usually a good way to do it. So what I usually do when I move to somewhere, right? Like for example, here in Utah, now that I'm living here, is I will go on the internet and I will find all the best places that I want to eat at. And over the course of time, I just start going to them. So for me, like I think it's really easy to just be like, hey, I would love to go to dinner with you, right? That's super easy. It doesn't, it's not too intense. It's not too big too soon. It's just really easy to ask someone to dinner. So I like getting food with people. Um, Also playing games. Like if you ever go bowling, that's a really good idea.
Yeah,
It's
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 fun. It's
fun.
fun.
Yeah, it's an easy activity to do together. You can go to a sporting event, right? If there's like si las Águilas están jugando contra los Tigres,
Yeah,
you can you can bring
especially
someone to
now.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
but
see.
I hope you guys belong to the same team because that's another problem if you belong to different teams.
It's true.
Yeah,
Or
having
it would be really fun.
yeah, having been a sport fan of Las Águilas and also your girlfriend or the person you're dating with and from Licey, so that'll be
Mhm.
a little situation there. But at least you like sports. At least you like
Yeah,
baseball.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah, another question. So are there specific rules that you have or norms of etiquette that we need
Mhm.
to follow when we go on a date with someone in the United States?
Yeah, good question. So with this one, I think the most important thing is just to be respectful, right? Well, it's hard to go out with people, right? Especially there's a lot of people out there who are not always extroverted, which is just to say that they're not always good with people. So, trying to go out with somebody and trying to get to know them is a difficult task. So the most important thing you can do is be respectful. And so this goes when the man is talking to the woman or the woman talking to the man. You don't want to go out with someone just so you can have, so you can do things afterwards. You don't want to go out with someone just for physical intimacy. You want to go out with someone because you really want to get to know them as a person. And so that's the biggest part. You want to go out with someone with no intentions, with no things behind the scenes, if that makes sense, with
Yeah,
or other motives, right? You want to go out with someone just because you think they're a nice person and you want to get to know them. But the thing is, when people start having other motives, right? They're trying to play for their own agenda or get something else done that they want to get done. Then that's when dates don't go very well and people start getting upset and hurt, and it really hurts their feelings. So being respectful is a big part, and then also just being kind, right? And that can go for opening the door for someone, that can go for walking someone to their apartment when you finish, not trying to force someone to do something physical that they don't want to do yet, right? I think, yeah, a lot of it is just being respectful, taking your time, and just being kind to the person you're being with and trying to enjoy their company.
yeah, perfect, perfect. Nice answer. Yeah, very insightful.
Yeah. I've
Okay,
watched a lot of people I've watched a lot of people do it the wrong way, so I've learned how
yeah,
to
I
do it the
know.
right
Okay,
way.
yeah, you have a lot of experience there.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are some phrases that we usually use when we talk about dating, and
Mhm.
I want you to give us some definitions and some examples. Okay, for
Okay,
example,
perfect.
the phrase will ask out, ask
Mhm.
somebody out. So how do you use that expression?
Yeah. So asking out is when you first you first talk to someone and you want to get to know them a bit more. And so asking out is just inviting someone to leave you, como una invitación para salir. And so you just say, "Hey, I'd love to get to know you. Can I ask you out to dinner?" So it's basically just an invitation to go do something at a different time.
Great, great. Okay, and how about this other expression to hit it off?
Hit it off.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
is that?
So that's after you ask them out, right? That's after you've gone on a date. Yeah, like after la cita, and that's if you had a fun time together. So if you're on this date and you're enjoying each other's company, you have fun together, you can laugh at each other's jokes. You got good food or whatever it is you're doing, and you go home thinking, "Wow, that was really good." And then the other person goes home thinking, "Wow, that was really good." Then you've hit it off. You both enjoyed each other's company, and you'd be open to doing it again. So yeah, hitting it off means that there's a high chance of going on a second date.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. And this other expression, fall for someone, to fall for
Mhm.
someone. What is
Yeah.
that?
So that is like, so ask out's here, hit it off's here, and then fall for someone is like here. So hitting it off is like you had fun the first time, and if you fall for someone, then that is taking it a bit more seriously. That means you've gone on a few dates, and you've really enjoyed this person's company, and you feel like you're starting to fall in love, right? You feel very strongly about this person. You want to be around them a lot. You think about them. You could even dream about them. You tell your friends
Oh,
about this person. That means you care a lot about this person, and yeah, you're falling in love with them. That's what it means.
yeah, that means being in love with that person then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big
So
deal.
when you dream of a person, then that usually is because you really like that person.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
And the other word or let's say phrasal verb in this case or expression is to call it quicks.
Call it quits.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is when um it kind of depends. It doesn't really matter how far you are in, but call it quits just means we're done. I don't really feel the same way about you, or you don't feel the same way about me. And if we continue in this relationship, we won't really get anywhere. So we're gonna call it quits. We're not gonna see each other anymore. We're not gonna keep hanging out because we don't really feel that
Is
way.
it the same as to break up?
Yeah, to break up, exactly.
Okay, it's another expression to say break up. Okay. But
Yeah.
anyways, it's finish a relation. That's the bottom
Yep.
line.
Just
To finish a relation. Okay.
yep.
Or to finish or to quit dating, let's say. Good.
Hmm.
Good. Yeah, I think we learned a lot of new words here, and thank you for sharing those little tips. as I said before, people are not going to get better at the art of seduction, but at least they're going to learn more about culture and the proper
Yeah.
etiquette or the proper norms or way to to doing it the right way.
Yeah.
So thank you, Andrew, again for your help and for your insightful, let's say, advice and knowledge about this, and thank you for sharing your experiences with us.
Yeah, of course. And my best advice for dating in general, it might not be the art of seduction, but in terms of my best advice, I would say to focus more on love than on lust. And I don't know what the word for lust is in Spanish, but it's kind of just to be more focused on the physical expressions rather than the actual emotional side of getting to know someone. Because a lot of times people think that dating is just about that being able to do physical things with the person you're going out with. And that's not true, right? It's nice to do that, but if you don't have a real foundation, if you don't have like an actual relationship that you built before you do those things, then it's not going to mean anything. You're not going to feel anything. In
And
the end, it won't.
yeah,
Yeah,
and also it won't last long, anyways. So
yeah, exactly. And it won't last. It won't last a long time because when two people are only together just because they enjoy doing more physical actions, then they have no reason to stay together when things get difficult. Whereas if you build a solid foundation first and you get to know that person, you care about that person aside from all those physical things, then you will be happy. Then you really will have a good relationship. Whereas if you're only focused on doing other physical forms of intimacy, then it won't really do anything for you, and you'll just be sad.
hey, great. Hey, thank you for that great piece of advice. That one is really important.
No problem.
Right now I'm married, so I'm not dating anymore. Well, yeah, I'm dating. I'm dating the same person every day, so
Every day.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I would
we get along very well. I could say that we hit it off because
We hit it
we
off.
know each other very well. We have a good time with each other, and we talk about a lot of things, and we enjoy being together. So and
Hmm.
that's a good thing. So and you need to make sure when you're dating someone that, as you said before, that you have things in common. You can talk about a lot of things, and you care about each other. And because at the end of the day, that what really matters. That if you care, you know, if you care of both of you, and try to get a good time with your presence, let's say, and being together and having doing I mean doing different things, not only the intimacy. So that is great, and your
Hmm.
relationship will last long because at the end of the day we grow old, and then if we only love the physical part, then that physical part will disappear.
Hmm.
And it's better to have this emotional part with these emotional bonds better, and this emotional foundation of loving and caring each other.
Hmm. Exactly. Is there
So
anything you and your wife do to maintain that friendship?
yeah, we something that we do, and that's something funny, is that we go a lot to doctor's appointments.
Yeah.
And yeah, because the thing is, he has a special health situation,
Hmm.
and since we need to go out of town to visit different doctors, so we have time to talk.
Hmm.
To during the way, we usually talk. We usually listen to music, and we talk about a variety of topics, and we just have fun. You see, so and that have really helped our marriage. We've been married for we're gonna be 12 years this month.
Wow, that's
So
amazing.
yeah, and it's I still feel like she's my girlfriend.
Yeah,
She's not only my wife, she's my girlfriend. So you see, I have a good time with her
it's
all the
good.
time. I have a good time
Yeah,
all the time, so it's good.
perfect.
So thank you again, Andrew, for being here with us and sharing your experience and telling us about the culture, the American culture in terms of dating.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's really good. It's good to be back. Glad to be here.
Thanks, man. And we're gonna see you next time then.
Yeah,
So
so
have a great rest of the weekend. Bye,
yeah,
man.
you too. Thanks everybody. Bye.
Okay, bye.